Shi had a flashback of when Liang had taken him to the Tang sect's Mintang. Liang had explained that he was the hall master of the Tang sect's minting, responsible for collecting intelligence, public relations, and marketing, with most of the recruits being speed-type soul masters. Liang had watched ZC cultivate every day until he was worn out, yet he never quit. Impressed by his toughness, Liang had decided to recruit him to Mintang. ZC reflected that he wouldn't have been able to hold on if it had been in the past, because it had been too exhausting. However, he had been determined to surpass Yuanan, defeat her, and marry her, and he couldn't back down. Yuanan had been watching him from her room. She had wanted to know why ZC had been behaving so strangely. At Shrek Academy's big gate, Tang Wulin had come to pick up Gu Yue. He had asked why she had come back so late. Gu Yue had explained that she had had to tie up some loose ends and had returned as soon as she had finished. She had then shown him what she had brought. Tang Wulin had opened the box and had been amazed to see some delicious-looking wild sea cucumber. He had asked if she had made it. Gu Yue had confirmed, saying she had learned it for a few days but had thought the taste had probably been just so-so. Tang Wulin had thought about how valuable time had been for a Shrek Academy student, and how Gu Yue had actually spent her time studying cooking just to make this dish for him. His heart had been touched. Gu Yue had encouraged him to try it before they went inside. Tang Wulin had agreed and had thought about how good the dish had been, and how it had all the nutrition. He had realized that Gu Yue had put a lot of effort into making it. He had finished the meal and had decided to go back inside. He had been looking at Gu Yue. Gu Yue had asked what he had been looking at. He had told her that he had been looking at her. Gu Yue had said to him that she had not been beautiful, so he shouldn't have looked at her. Tang Wulin had told her that she had been beautiful. She had gone silent for a second and had told him that they should go because it had been getting late. He had agreed. The next day, Tang Wulin went to Wu Changkong's office. Wu had asked if he had accepted Luo Guixing's challenge, mentioning that he would be the referee that afternoon. Tang Wulin had been surprised that Wu had already known. Wu had explained that Luo Guixing and his team had been outstanding and more powerful, having aced the final exam, and had advised Tang Wulin to take no chances. Tang Wulin had acknowledged this, noting that their collaboration must have been greater than ever after such a long time of working together, but he had believed his team had been better. Wu had responded that they would see. Tang Wulin then mentioned that he had wanted to bother Wu one more time. Wu had asked what the matter had been. Tang Wulin had expressed his desire for their class to challenge the third-year first class in half a semester, thinking that the greater the distance between themselves and the seniors, the more motivated they would be to cultivate. Wu had said it had been too soon to discuss this. Tang Wulin, looking disappointed, had agreed. In the afternoon, Tang Wulin's team and Luo Guixing's team came face to face. As the match started, Tang Wulin, without wasting any time, rushed towards them. Luo used his boundary division move, which allowed him to separate the energy of all elements. Luo believed that Tang Wulin would be transported back instantly if he tried to break the siege, fully isolated within his soul skill. He thought that even Gu Yue wouldn't be able to help Tang Wulin in this situation. Luo demonstrated his 4-ring soul skill. Tang Wulin realized that Luo had 4 rings, and this must have been his new soul skill. Acknowledging that they were well prepared for this challenge, Tang Wulin thought that he could only rely on himself. He used his blue-silver impaling formation. Yang thought Tang Wulin was foolish for thinking his blue-silver grass could stop them and charged towards him. Yu Cheng and Siduo also got ready to attack. Luo used his spatial lockdown on Tang Wulin. He thought it was the perfect time to encircle and defeat Tang Wulin. After beating him, he planned to instantly hide in Zheng Yuran's poisonous mist to make some modifications, confident that they would win the final battle due to their numerical superiority. Tang Wulin smiled and revealed his 2 golden soul rings. Siduo was surprised to see this. Tang Wulin used his Golden Dragon Emperor body move and took their attacks head-on. Everyone was shocked. Their strikes had no effect on him. Yang's bloodline energy seemed to have been sucked. Yu Cheng was so shocked by Tang Wulin's power that he wondered if he was still a human. Tang Wulin then used the Shaking Earth Golden Dragon. This eliminated Yu Cheng. Siduo tried to use her Dark Side White Tiger, but it vanished in an instant due to the Shaking Earth Golden Dragon's damage and Gu Yue's strike with blue fireballs. Siduo was then caught by Zixie, who held his dagger to her neck, eliminating her. Tang Wulin charged towards Yang, who looked nervous, and with one strike, Yang was out. Yuran tried to defend Luo, but before she could, Xinglan eliminated him. Wu now knew that Tang Wulin was ready to challenge the 3rd grade a year later. Luo wondered how Tang Wulin had become so powerful. He knew Yiran had no chance of winning because she was up against 5 people. Yuanan didn't expect them to improve so rapidly after only a short vacation. She recalled that Tang Wulin had requested her to protect him the other day, most likely because he was breaking through his 2nd soul ring. Such a massive gain in defense power in the blink of an eye could be likened to that of a Soul King. Luo decided to give up. He expressed his disappointment, saying he had hoped that after a year of hard effort, they might turn the game around, but the gap between them was getting bigger and bigger. He questioned if Tang Wulin was still human. Tang Wulin, however, suggested they give it another try and proposed that they compete again after attaining the battle armor master level. Luo agreed to that plan. After the match, Tang Wulin went to the cultivation zone, curious to see if the hype about it was true. At the reception, he informed the receptionist that he wanted to use the cultivation zone. She told him it would cost 100 contribution points per hour. Though disappointed by the price, Tang Wulin decided to proceed. The receptionist then asked about his attribute, and he told her it was plant type. She directed him to the 7th room on the left. Upon entering the room, he was amazed by its size and noted the numerous plants and the thick breath of life he felt on his face. He thought that the heaven and earth elemental forces in this place were comparable to those on Sea God Island, where such resources were free for the benefit of the inner court students. He began cultivating, and after an hour, he realized that his cultivation speed had improved by 20%, which he found to be a great benefit. He considered the 100 contribution points well worth it, and thought that with this 20% boost, he might reach the 40th level before the end of the 2nd grade. He also reflected that this might change his plans to sell all of the spirit alloys in Heaven Dew City, as he might need to save some to sell at the academy for more contribution points. Tang Wulin then went back to the receptionist with a strongly determined look on his face and declared that he wanted to extend his cultivation time until the next morning. The receptionist asked if he was okay. On the first day of the new semester, Tang Wulin went to Feng. He expressed his desire to sell some spirit alloy to the Forging Association and inquired about the best way to sell it to receive the highest price, hoping to exchange it for contribution points. Feng asked how much spirit alloy he had. Tang Wulin replied that he had 10 pieces each of jade silver, star silver, and gold crystal, with fusion rates ranging between 65% and 80%. Feng was astonished, thinking that even 6th-rank forging masters would struggle to forge that much spirit alloy in such a short period. Feng requested to see the 30 pieces, stating that the association would pay for everything. Tang Wulin presented a chest containing all the spirit alloy. Feng reflected that he had made the right decision by taking Tang Wulin as his student, convinced that he would become a divine artisan in the future. Tang Wulin thought to himself that Feng would be surprised if he knew that he still had 50 more pieces to exhibit, but planned to sell them for a better price in Heaven Dew City. Feng, impressed by the quantity, offered an extra 10%, totaling 1,635,300 contribution points. Tang Wulin was pleased with his earnings and asked if there was any teacher at Shrek who taught driving, as he wanted to learn so he wouldn't have to walk everywhere. Feng questioned the usefulness of learning to drive, pointing out that Mecha could outrun a car. Tang Wulin explained that there was no need to use Mecha all the time and that he wanted to be a battle armor master. Feng smacked him on the head, calling him an idiot, and clarified that Mecha and battle armor did not conflict. Tang Wulin realized that battle armor was always hidden in the body, only appearing when used, and that Mecha protected the exterior, so the two did not conflict. Feng elaborated that Mecha was the initial line of defense on the battlefield, helping to save the Soul Master's soul power. He informed Tang Wulin that he would begin Mecha driving lessons this school year and advised him not to neglect them. Tang Wulin agreed, thinking that he had enough contribution points to purchase a Mecha. Tang Wulin asked about the cost of a Mecha. Feng handed him a price list. When Tang Wulin saw the prices, he was horrified and told Feng that he would rather buy a car because he couldn't afford a Mecha. Feng suggested that the Academy's Mecha Association could assist him in creating one and that he could supply the materials himself. He mentioned that a yellow-level Mecha would be sufficient for transportation and encouraged Tang Wulin to consider it, noting that Mecha could move freely over the continent. Tang Wulin decided that he should build a Mecha for himself, believing he had enough money. He resolved to take a Mecha class that semester and practice any time if he had his own Mecha. He then went to the Mecha Association, where a senior member was present. The senior asked Tang Wulin if he wanted to join their Mecha Association. Tang Wulin replied that he was there to customize a yellow Mecha. The senior questioned if he knew the cost, which was 1 million. Tang Wulin handed over his card, confident that he had enough contribution points. The senior was surprised to find more than 1.6 million contribution points in Tang Wulin's account, and wondered how someone so young could be so wealthy. The senior then asked for Tang Wulin's requirements for the mecha. Tang Wulin specified that he wanted a long-ranged attack-type mecha with light and thin armor to save energy, a stronger energy core, and longer endurance. The senior expressed concern, explaining that such specifications would result in a brittle-skin mecha which wouldn't fare well in close combat due to the light armor. He warned that an enhanced energy core could quickly burst if the mecha were hit, posing extreme danger. Tang Wulin acknowledged the risk and asked how much cheaper the mecha would be if he supplied the rare metals himself. The senior, wondering why Tang Wulin ignored his advice, quoted a price of 480,000, but stipulated that Tang Wulin must ensure the quality of all metals. Tang Wulin assured him that the quality of his rare metals was guaranteed. The senior then instructed Tang Wulin to pay a deposit of 100,000 in advance, noting that the deposit would not be refunded. After that, Tang Wulin went to Gu Yue and asked him for 10 tons of star iron. Gu Yue was shocked and asked what he needed so much star iron for. Tang Wulin told him not to worry about it and simply requested an answer. He offered to assist Gu Yue in forging all the jade silver that his mecha required in exchange. Gu Yue found the deal enticing, but mentioned that 10 tons was too much and that he would have to provide it in portions within a month. Tang Wulin agreed and left. While heading to the Mecha Association, he encountered Zixi. Zixi noted that Tang Wulin had been busy recently, mentioning that he hadn't seen him all day and that he hadn't even returned to the dorm to sleep. Tang Wulin reflected on his schedule, which included classes in the morning, forging in the afternoon, cultivating in the evening, and practicing the purple demon eyes at dawn, leaving no time to sleep in the dorm. He told Zixi that his reasons would be known later and reminded him to study well for the upcoming Mecha operation classes next week, as he would be busy. He then said goodbye and mentioned he would see him in class. Upon arriving at the Mecha Association, Tang Wulin was shocked to hear he would have to pay 300,000 more. The senior there explained that he used too much force just to construct a yellow rank mecha, requiring a lot of sublimation forging metal. The metals used to produce the core magic array were all incredibly high-quality sublimation heavy silver, which needed to be engraved little by little, and were at least 5 times harder than normal metals. The senior stated that asking for 300,000 was already very conscientious, and suggested that such luxurious materials would not be used by an ordinary purple rank mecha, questioning why Tang Wulin didn't just build a purple rank mecha. Tang Wulin replied that he didn't have that much money. The senior then offered a discount, reducing the price to 280,000, which couldn't be lowered further. Tang Wulin thanked the senior and handed over his card. The senior thought to himself that it made sense for Tang Wulin to request to make a brittle skin mecha, since using such materials would prevent brittle skin issues. He informed Tang Wulin that he could pick it up in 2 months. Tang Wulin was happy because he finally had his own mecha. In class, Tang Wulin talked to Gu Yue. Tang Wulin mentioned that the afternoon's lesson had been free, and that he and Li Ji had wanted to attend as well. Gu Yue questioned if he had wanted to learn how to drive a mecha and whether it would be a waste of his time. Tang Wulin responded enthusiastically, saying that his boyhood goal had been to become a mecha master and that the army had been ruled by mechas, so he couldn't pass up the opportunity. Gu Yue replied that he could do whatever he wanted. At the end of class, Na-Er arrived. Shun Yi asked her if she had been looking for her. She told her that she had been looking for someone else. Tang Wulin came and greeted her. Na-Er called him brother. This surprised Shun Yi. Yang and Luo were also surprised. They both found Na-Er attractive. They quickly came down and introduced themselves. Yang even said that he had been Tang Wulin's best friend. Tang Wulin took Na-Er with him, telling her she didn't need to care about them. Tang Wulin took her to get some food. Yang hoped Na-Er would visit their class more frequently. Gu Yue was a little angry by what was happening. The next day, every boy in class was calling Tang Wulin big brother and treating him like a king. Yang asked him when his sister would come next time. Luo told him that they should have a meal together next time. Tang Wulin asked what he meant by together. Gu Yue's eyes started boiling in rage. Everyone was terrified. Tang Wulin told Gu Yue that it had been a joke. He wondered why she had been enraged. Li Ji told him that it had been because of him. Tang Wulin questioned how it could have been him, as he hadn't been with Gu Yue yesterday. Gu Yue asked Tang Wulin if the girl from yesterday had been his sister. Tang Wulin confirmed that she had indeed been his little sister, emphasizing that there had been no other possibility. He mentioned that she had been only 12 years old and an inner court student who occasionally visited him. Luo and Yang were shocked when they heard she had been from the inner court. Tang Wulin teased Gu Yue by asking her if she had been jealous. Gu Yue, full of embarrassment, told him to get out of her way. After all that, Tang Wulin went to his Mecha class. All the students greeted the teacher. The teacher announced that they would continue with the Mecha practice class's fundamental control instruction and instructed the students to climb aboard their Mechas and activate the communication equipment. Tang Wulin got on his Mecha and followed the teacher's instructions. Everyone else did the same. The teacher emphasized that the most critical aspect of Mecha control was learning balance, advising the students to think of the Mecha as an extension of their own bodies.